But I have felt like within myself, like of going through all my journeys in my other kitchens, like I was ready, you know. It's time to take the next step.
Yeah.
So I'm like going into the stage and I'm just like, I don't care. Whatever they give me, I'm just gonna fucking do it. I'm gonna put my head down. I'm gonna do it as fast as I can.
Yeah.
My knives are sharp. Yes, chef. Like fucking boom, you know?
Yeah.
So I come in and we're just doing like simple things like chop these leeks, chop these herbs, pick these herbs, whatever.
Yeah.
Scrub the floor. And yeah, it was cool. It was super cool. Like I've never seen a kitchen like that before. And yeah, just being in there, like I was kind of definitely like, this is a place for me.
Okay.
I wasn't really like intrigued or like drawn into by the Japanese cuisine at that point. I just more so was like drawn into like this like super high end kitchen and kitchen culture.
Yeah. Where everyone cares.
Yeah, you know, that's another big thing they don't talk about. But man, try going to work in these kitchens where people don't care. And if you're trying to push, you need to be around people who are like trying to push too.
Yeah, for sure. There's a reason why it exists.
Yeah.
You know, people will talk shit about it, but it's like you don't have to run a restaurant like that.
Yeah.
Do what you do, but I feel like these restaurants are still necessary. And, you know, it's a good training ground to at least know what it's like to run as fast as you can and as hard as you can towards the same goal with a group of people.
Literally, like, run.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
They don't tell you that shit, but...
No, you have to run.
Dude, I would be fucking running every day.
Yeah, dude.
Every day. Even in my head, I'd just be like, you're like peeling these Swiss chard ribbons, and in my head, I'm like, you better go faster, dude.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. So you end up working that single thread.
Yeah, so, just talking to them, you know, just asked. It was like really about it, and they hired me on. The whole process, though, took a minute. It took like 2 or 3 months.
Why?
Just going through, like, from when I first sent my resume and email all the way to, like, setting up the stage to, like, starting, having to leave my other job at the catering company. So I was a manager, too, over there at the time. So, you know, I wanted to, like, leave professionally with them. And, I started December 26th. Remember that, the day after Christmas.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did they do a Christmas service or just have Christmas off?
No, we did like a New Year's.
Oh, right.
Oh,
right.
yeah. They had Christmas off.
25, 20, work 24, off 25, work 26.
Yeah.
That's no holiday. You just
That's
sleep.
no holiday, dude. No way.
Honestly, it was one of my favorites, Christmas and Thanksgiving, because nobody calls you.
Yeah.
It's the only day where you're not stressed because you're like, nobody's going to call me today.
No.
Or with their families.
That's dope. That's good to think about.
Yeah, dude, I was like, I couldn't wait for it.
Turn your phone
you know,
on.
yeah, dude. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Crazy. So what station did you start on at?
So I got hired on as a commis.
Okay.
Yeah. Commis, and then
there's with Lydia Lee.
With Lydia Lee, yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Lydia.
Yeah,
Shout
what's
out
up, Lydia?
Joe Mangio.
I haven't seen her in a minute, but
yeah.
What up?
She's legit.
She's dope. Yeah, she was super cool. She actually worked saute station, so we would like kind of be in tandem throughout the night.
Okay, got
putting
you.
Things up.
Got
and
you.
Whatnot.
And then what station was yours? Sorry.
So yeah, I started commis, but I mainly worked like the veg section, which was cool. We shared a hearth with the grill side, so there's like a big hearth in between our stations.
Yeah.
And then behind, if you like turned around on my section, is where we would plate.
Right.
All of our things like on our side. So that was like mainly my thing was like, all right, I got my dishes, and then like during service, I'm doing a couple things, but I'm plating a lot. Like cooking too, for sure, but it's all about plating and timing and, you know.
When to start the dish to actually have it up at the certain time when it needs to be.
It's a language, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
You really got to learn like the system. And you know, when you get really good at it though, because it was 11 courses, right? So let's say I had the 6th course, so I hear them firing the 4th course. It's a salad, right? And they're just like, fire 15 salads or whatever.
Yeah.
Or you just see them and you're like, you just know at that point, because you've been doing it for so long, you're like, all right, I'm about to come up on like 15 of my 6th course right now. Mm-hmm. So I need to get prepared.
Yeah, exactly.
I need to start thinking.
The mental cues of like when you see certain plates come back and when they drop certain wines or whatever the fuck.
Right.
Use your markers.
Yeah. You gotta get dialed in.
Yeah.
To do that stuff.
Is it a quiet service?
Pretty quiet, yeah.
Pretty quiet kitchen?
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty quiet, but it's an open kitchen too. Uh-huh. So they can see like, especially my section. Yeah. It's like right at the front of the kitchen.
Oh, can they see your feet?
They can see my feet.
Your legs?
Yeah.
Oh!
They can see straight into my station,
your
my cutting board. All
damn.
of my mise en place, like everything I'm plating.
Well, you know, people think that that's nerve-wracking, but after a while, it's just like becomes normal.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's chill. You know, I think you have to like be aware of certain things. Yeah. Just like keep your hands clean, wash your hands a lot. Yeah. Or just like always for sure, but towels, keeping a nice clean towel. Yeah. Stuff like that. Yeah. But we worked pretty clean. So it was never really like an issue. Yeah. Yeah. It was tight though. I had my own little sink. You know, I had like my own little cubby down below. Mm-hmm. Like all the other sections didn't have like all of the things.
Storage.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the worst when you got to like figure it out.
Yeah. So I took advantage, dude. But yeah.
How long were you there?
I was there for like almost 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that the only station you worked, or did you move? Where'd you move?
So I kind of like transitioned too. So at one point I became the commis for the veg section mm-hmm. and for the grill section. Okay. And then they had like another veg cook who would work the station. So he was like my CDP. Okay. And then I would basically just be like a commis for both of them and then work service with both of them. Okay. Yeah. And then on the veg guy's day off, I would cover the station and work the section. Mm-hmm. And then eventually it translated to me like I worked the section for a while. Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
What's Chef Kyle Connaughton like?
Dude, Chef Kyle was cool. Yeah. Yeah, he was super cool. You know, he's really like calm. Mm-hmm. You could tell like he's pretty smart, dude. And I think he thinks about like the whole experience. He talked about the experience a lot as a whole, not just about like
one dish.
Yeah, one dish or like one plate or the food. It was like the experience as a whole. Mm-hmm. From when they open the front door to the moment that they like walk out and everything in between. Yeah. Yeah, and I just thought it was cool because like, you know, I didn't mention this, but I went to a performing arts high school. Uh-huh. So I was a theater major. Okay. So I have to take like theater classes in high school. Yeah. And that was like
pays off in the kitchen.
Yeah. So I kind of like viewed the whole thing as like, you know, it was similar to like running a show, mm-hmm. like a theater show. It was like an experience. You come down, you sit down, you enjoy the show. Yeah. Yeah.
Dinner theater,
dude. And they would grow, like their farm was crazy. Yeah. They had a crazy farm. They'd grow like all the flowers for the bathroom and like the hotel room and the vases and on the wall.
Really?
Like, yeah, dude.
That's an endeavor.
And they would change them, like, dude, all the time. You know.
How many rooms is that hotel?
It was 5.
Who does the breakfast?
The kitchen team.
Right. Do you have a breakfast crew, or is it you guys?
So I did breakfast for a little bit too. Yeah. And it was like a crew. There was like 3 people. Yeah.
Is it extensive?
It's
for 5 rooms?
Dude, it's deep. It goes deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, 13, 15 dishes.
Jesus
per
Christ.
menu. Yeah, and there's 3 separate menus.
Do you cadence it like room by room, like picking up room 1, picking up, or is it like picking up all 5 rooms, 15 this, 15
It
that?
could be. It depends because they'll like tell you what time they want it.
Right. And it all arrives at once, right? It's like a family style spread.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always find it weird that in them hotels, they'd be walking into your room while you're in bed.
Yeah.
And they set up your breakfast for you and you're like naked under the covers. And you're like, this is weird. You know?
Leave it outside the door.
Exactly. Yeah, just leave it outside the door. Maybe get a guiri done. Put it on that bitch, you know?
They could come into the restaurant, eat the breakfast too, though. Like in the dining room.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have some occasionally who did that.
Okay. How many Michelin stars did it have when you got there? When you were there?
It first got 2.
Yeah, first got 2.
Yeah. It's like 8 or 9 months in.
Okay.
It's pretty wild, dude.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
How long did you stay there? 2 years, you said, almost 2 years.
Yeah.
What made you leave there?
Dude, I don't know. It was just like some like relationship shit and like, you know, things going down with that, and yeah, it was just a lot.
Personal life stuff?
Personal life stuff. And I was just like in a really tough spot, like mentally, and like I just couldn't escape it, dude. And the crazy thing is like at this point in the job, like I was only doing better and better and better. I was figuring out all the things, you know. I need this 1 spoon for the caviar. And like there's only 1 spoon in this restaurant. It's perfect, and you know exactly where it is. It's like that shit I was figuring out, where it's like, cool, I know where the spoon is, got it, boom. And I would just save time throughout my day and like always be ready. Like I was fucking hitting all the deadlines, having great services. Yeah, I was really starting to like do really, really good. And then that happened, dude. And it was right after we got 3 stars. So it was like a month or 2 after. And I just was like feeling like super depressed.
Yeah.
And I just needed a change. So, yeah, I put in my notice there.
How was it? Was it hard received on their end?
Yeah, I think they were kind of shocked.
Yeah.
I think they were like not expecting it at all. And I remember like one of my sous chefs like pulled me into like the fish butchery room, and he was like, you know, what's going on? Like, why are you putting your notice in? Like, you shouldn't do that. Like, are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you know? And we were just getting all these crazy, dude. Like I said, like we just got 3 stars. You know, we were like on like top 100 in the world. We got the Miele One to Watch award. We had just done like crazy dinner for like the fucking 50 best.
Yeah.
Like what they were doing some conference in San Francisco, and we were just doing crazy shit like that. And he was like, "Are you really sure? Like you want to leave all of this?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude. Yeah." So I learned a lot there, though. I really did. I learned a lot about like Japanese cuisine.
Yeah.
And about like the philosophy, like kaiseki menu, ingredients.
Yeah.
Man, ingredients for sure. Like, just even from the farm, like what grows out here naturally. Just like learning all the different things that you can use for garnishes. And,
the foraging is wild.
The foraging's wild.
Chickweeds and the minor lettuces.
We had our own forager.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what's crazy about those restaurants. Like,
yeah. Charlie was that guy for us.
Yeah. So I think it was a good spot for me to like really do some shit that I never thought I would do.
Yeah.
And, you know, show up every day. Because every day there, I'm sure it was the same at Meadowood, but it was like going to war.
Yeah.
You had to,
every day.
You mentally had
Dig
to prepare.
Deep every day.
Exactly.
You spend almost like 3 hours preparing before work.
Yeah.
Prep list, ironing chef coats, fucking making sure you were spotless.
I wish Kat could hear that, because she would probably laugh. Because I do that right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I like it, honestly.
Yeah. Well, you're still in, you know, you're fucking still growing, bro.
Yeah.
So where do you go from there? What do you do?
So from there, dude, I was just, like I said, I was like trying to like figure out my next step and, just trying to like not work so much. They don't talk about that shit when you're working at those restaurants either, but it's like, that's your life.
Yeah.
I needed to go back out into the world and like remember who I was.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So, me and my friend, we bought tickets to go to Europe.
Okay.
Yeah. So I went to Europe for like 6 weeks.
Okay.
And, dude, I just hit all the spots. I just tried to hit all the spots that I was so excited about and like wanted to eat good food. And then to end the trip, I had set up a stage at Lyle's in London.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Shout out James Lowe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's a dope dude.
Yeah, he seems cool, dude.
Yeah.
He wasn't there when I staged, but he seems really nice. I've heard good things.
Yeah, he's a really dope guy. Reminds me of that comedian, the English one. The guy who laughs weird. The way he looks. But yeah. Jimmy Carr.
Jimmy Carr.
Yeah, he's got that laugh. Okay. And what is life like for you now after you get your freedom after this Europe trip? Are you ready to go back in the kitchens, or you're like, I still need to be free?
No, I think I was ready.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's my move. Honestly, is like, I like to go really hard, and then once I'm like, cool, I need to take a step back, and just kind of like remember who I was or whatnot. I'll go travel. And then while I'm traveling, I'll be like, all right, I need to fucking get back into the mix.
Right.
I like recharge, And so that's what I was doing. And, I had also staged before I went. I staged at this restaurant called Alta Vino in San Francisco. My friend Shannon, who owned the catering company, his son was running this restaurant.
Okay.
So I was like, cool, I'm going to go like check it out. And super talented dude. He makes like 6 or 7 pastas daily. Like they're all different. And like he's down there every day, like shaping all the pastas and doing all the butchery and all real food. It was dope. So I kind of like had that. And they offered me a job before I went to Europe. And yeah, I was kind of just like, I think I'm going to go over here and like help you guys out.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was like right above Chinatown. It's on Mason and Pacific. And that was cool, dude. It was great. Like working with him, it was a small team. I would show up every day at 12 and he would let me do like a lot of like the sauce work and like butchery, and we would get in like half a veal and like break it down into like primals, and we would use some for like tartare and then grind up a bunch for like bolognese and dry age some of it, make stock with the rest of it.
Yeah.
And it was just like, dude, it's like real cooking. It was the type of food where you could like close your eyes and eat it and you'd just be like, this is just incredible.
Right.
Yeah. He was a super good guy too. Yeah.
That's dope.
So I did that for like, I was doing that as a sous chef. And then one of my friends was working down here at Post Ranch Inn.
Okay.
Down in Big Sur.
Okay.
Which is like this like super high-end, luxurious hotel on the coast. I think it's like $1 to $2 grand a night for like a room, if not $3 grand, $5 grand. Yeah, it's just crazy. Like all the celebrities go and stay over there. And so my friend was working down here at the CDC, and I was just talking to him. He worked the grill section at Single Thread.
What's his name?
Colin Shane.
Okay.
He runs. He's the like director of like all of the culinary operations for Sean Brock. Yeah, he's like the CDC of the whole group.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah, super talented dude.
Yeah.
He's just, it's crazy, like the shit that comes out of his brain and food.
He's hanging out with fucking Sean Brock.
Yeah.
That motherfucker is just a machine when it comes to ideas and
executions.
Yeah, and intricacies and
like,
backwoods fucking what is it? Where is he? The Appalachian cuisine, dude.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's crazy what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're kind of like the fucking Noma of Appalachia.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they're the Napa. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It's incredible what he's done. Shout out to him.
Shout out. Sean Brock, Colin Shane.
Yeah, for sure. Colin Shane, come on the fucking podcast.
Let's go.
Let's go. Brock, come on the fucking podcast.
Let's go, Brock.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so like, I was just reaching out to him and like seeing how things were going because he had left Single Thread too, and yeah, and I was just like, I just want to come down and like stage and hang out. I wasn't really looking for a job. I was just like coming down here and came down, saw the restaurant and the property and shit, and I fucking fell in love, dude.
Damn.
They have Lexuses like come pick you up and drive you up to the restaurant, like brand new Lexus.
Oh damn, that's fucking.
It's kind of like Meadowood.
Okay.
It's like super luxurious.
Got it.
And they took care of me when I staged. Like I got to stay there for free.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was incredible. You could see the ocean from the kitchen. You could like see the ocean, watch the sunset.
Wow. In the kitchen.
Yeah. It's like our pass like opens up and there's just like all windows.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It was dope.
Yeah.
It was super cool. And so I was working down there. The chef was Jonny Black.
Uh-huh.
And I had heard of just like from other cooks like at Single Thread and just throughout my time about like this guy named Jonny Black.
Yeah.
And
his name does come up a lot, and it's kind of like this private eye fucking.
Yeah, right.
Johnny Black.
Uh-huh.
And then when you see him, you're like, you look nothing like your name.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, but wait, you just wait until you get in the kitchen, you know?
Yeah. There's a reason.
There's a reason, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, he's really good at what he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, how did this all happen?
So, yeah, I just staged, and then they were like, you know, are you like looking for a job? Are you serious? And I thought about it, and I was like, yeah, I'm down.
How long ago was this?
This was the end of 2019. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was like September, October 2019.
So you worked here for 4 months and then...
Yeah, which was, you know, it was kind of like really hard to leave Altavino, which, Nick, if you listen to this, I'm sorry, brother. I tried to do you right, and I felt like I did, but I'm sorry that I worked such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
But I don't think he was expecting me to leave, and he was about to go on his honeymoon for like a month to Italy and like go travel and do all this shit.
Yeah.
So I had like...
Then you fucking left and ruined his honeymoon?
No. Fuck. No, I told him, and then I was like, but look, dude, I'm going to stay. Because the deal was, like, I had to run the restaurant.
Yeah.
Like, I had to be executive chef while he was in Italy for a month.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, I'm going to do it. I was like, you still go on your honeymoon. Like, I'll just start over at the hotel, like, later. Like, don't worry. You're going on your fucking honeymoon, and then when you get back, we'll start the transition.
Yeah.
And so that's what we did. And we were super fucking busy during that time, too.
Yeah.
I just felt good, dude. I felt like I was holding it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doing like 120. Yeah. Slinging pastas and shit. But, yeah, so I left there, and then I started down at Post Ranch, December 16th, 2019. It's crazy how I always remember my start
date.
Yeah, right?
It's the start to your sentence.
Yeah.
And how long did you work at Post Ranch?
I worked at Post Ranch for like 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah.
Okay. And then did Jonny Black leave before then?
Yeah.
Okay. He left before you left.
Yeah.
How did that feel? Your executive chef like leaves.
Well, dude, I mean, COVID happened.
Right. So okay,
Yeah.
so it was easy. It's easy for him to leave.
Yeah, it was a pretty fucking like mixed up situation for literally everybody.
Did you have your inklings, or did he have any sort of thought that he was going to open something?
Johnny?
Yeah.
Did
he mention anything to anybody, or?
I don't think he mentioned anything about opening something, but you know, it's kind of like when you're a chef, like you're always going to want to open up your own spot.
Right.
But I don't think he had anything like laid out yet at that point. Yeah. But it was pretty wild because we were trying to go for a star down here at like Post Ranch, or like 2 stars, or like turn this place into like Blue Hill,
right?
Something like that. And I started December 16th. It was like literally almost 3 months later, COVID, getting laid off, like not even sure what's going on. I just moved down here. You know, I had just bought a car. I invested like a lot in like moving down here, and I'm like, fuck, I'm already getting laid off. Like it was wild. And then got that unemployment, which is nice.
Stimuli.
Yeah, stimulate me. Let's go. And I was living it up out here during that time. Yeah, it was like
I bet, because it's secluded. Dude. You don't have to deal with fucking nobody going out and dealing with people. Like, that's what sucked about being in places like, I was in Napa at that time, and like, you really feel the emptiness. Yeah. Because these places are just like, when we reopened, I worked at Charter Oak with an empty dining room. No tables in the dining room.
Because you guys were doing like takeout?
We were doing takeout, and there was nobody was allowed inside. Yeah. So, we had a lot of fun, but
it's like a weird time.
Yeah, it was definitely a weird time.
Yeah.
Driving on the highway, nobody being on the highway.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
That's how it was out here. It's like no tourists. Yeah. All the beaches were like fucking empty. Yeah. I used to like get stoned and then drive to Carmel Beach and go watch the surfers. Yeah. Every afternoon. Like, that was my ritual. That would like get me out of the house. Yeah. I would go do that and like fucking just like watch them shred for like an hour and like look at the sunset. And I had just moved out here too, so I was still, it was like a good time for me to go and explore without having to like grind at a job. Yeah. I'm super grateful for that because, there's just so much shit out here to do. And yeah.
That's cool, man.
So yeah, I did that. I did that, and then they reopened down at the Post Ranch. Yeah. So I came back. I've worked there. Just like being like I was like a prep cook in the morning, and it was just more for like security at that time because we didn't really know what was going on, or like there's this whole like crazy changing going on like back and forth of like you can open your restaurant but it's like outdoor dining, or like you remember all of that. It was during that time, and it was just we ended up throwing away a lot of product. Yeah, we were doing like takeout for like room service, stuff like that, like
open close close. Crazy. And how long did that second stint after COVID last for you at Post Ranch?
At Post Ranch, I don't know, I probably lasted like, another year and some change. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And at this point, was Jonny already opening Chez Noir?
I think, so Jonny was like private chefing, and I think he found some investors. And he had some stuff in the works. Yeah. Like they were, like, I think they were trying to find a spot at this point, and stuff like that. Yeah.
Was that your next gig after Post Ranch? Next job?
Chez Noir?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, dude. Yeah, so like my girlfriend and I, we were just like kind of tired of Post Ranch. Yeah. And it was just like kind of corporate and
annoying.
Yeah, it was annoying, and like they weren't trying to pay us more money, and or all the whole stuff you gotta go through. So we ended up leaving. We did some traveling for a while, Went to Colorado and went back to Georgia.
Yeah.
It just kind of like fucked off for a little bit. We like traveled through like San Francisco. We rented Airbnb in the city for like a month. Just hung out and
sick.
Did some camping and
yeah, dude.
some odd jobs here and there, and like working for friends. And I think I did a couple pop-ups with some friends and some private chefing and shit. Just kind of just like freelancing almost. Yeah. And then we were trying to figure out if we wanted to move.
Yeah.
Like away from this area. And we were testing the waters in other spots. And then it's just like one day we were just like, no, why are we trying to move? It's fucking dope out there. It's dope. It's almost like
you don't have to go anywhere, Chef. You've got everything you need right here.
Yeah. We just needed to change our like spot up or whatever.
Yeah.
But you know, like when you're driving in, you come over the sand dune and you see the bay.
Yeah.
It's almost like I did that coming back and I was like, oh, dude, it feels like I'm
your
home.
home.
Yeah. It's like, this is my home. It feels good. It feels good because I think it's like laying down roots. I think is important for a chef too.
Yeah.
It's like you can like sit and develop on a project for more than a couple years. Maybe it takes 5 or 10 years. Like, what are you going to get by putting in that much time? Like, how far are you going to be down the line?
Yeah.
So, like, for instance, a good example would be, like, out here, foraging. Like, foraging, I do all the foraging, not all of it. I do a good bit of the foraging for Chez Noir. And it changes all the time. It's just based on, like, what's available, what we're running currently, you know, what we're switching things up on or whatnot.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just like looking for mushrooms out here. You know, there's a good bit of edible mushrooms here in Monterey, and some are very special, like the porcinis. Like they don't really grow in other parts of California, and the ones that come from Monterey are like very like specific and like the way they look and whatnot. And so just in knowing that and knowing like where you found those mushrooms the year before, what time they came up in the year, what time of day, like was it raining, how long after the first rain, and just knowing all of those things. Like let's say you're 7 years into your restaurant now, you have all that shit figured out. Boom, then it's fucking raining, I'm gonna go look for mushrooms. And you go out and you just find fucking hella mega mushrooms.
Yeah.
Large.
Yeah, I found a porcini one time that was like 6 pounds. But
Jesus.
It was already spoiled.
Holy
shit.
It was already
like wet and slimy, but I just
had to take
it. I had to see like how much money that thing would have been if it was fresh, you know?
Crazy.
It was crazy. Like the body was like that and the cap was like tiny, but it was like
Jesus, the stem was like that.
Yeah, the stem was the big part. Yeah, I saw the thing poking out of the ground. And I'm like, I thought it was just a small one. And I'm like, whoa.
What?
This big, big, fat body. I'm like, damn. So Chez Noir, you're sous chef there right now?
Sous chef right now, yeah.
Got you.
Yeah. But before Chez Noir, just to backtrack real quick, so I'm missing one more.
No worries.
But yeah, I moved back here and was working some jobs, and then I actually ended up talking to Klaus, Georis, who you had on, and he hired me on at Maligne.
Okay.
So I think I was the first person he hired on. So yeah, we hired on like 2 more people. These guys named Alex and Greg, and then it was basically just like the 4 of us that kind of like really like opened that place and like ran it for a while. Yeah. And yeah, that was cool too, dude. Like just open hearth, like open fire cooking, you know, developing menus and recipes and like trying to cater to the community out there, which is like, if you're not from the area, it's like a little more like, you know, in the industrial parts of the city. It's not so much fine dining area, but we're also trying to bring more of that like finer foods to their life.
I can see that. That block needs that.
Yeah.
It can live. It can support it.
It can, dude.
They stop blocking the goddamn road for goddamn car shows.
Yeah, what the fuck? That's so messed up.
That's a weekly, monthly basis. He's like, here we go again. Klaus on his fucking stories.
It's so funny. I'm sorry, Klaus.
It's all good, bro. He'll get there.
Maybe
one day the mayor will answer.
His
fucking.
It's crazy because we actually fed him.
Oh, you did?
We fed him. We try to like, you know.
And it was like, fuck you guys.
Yeah. I guess so.
Whoever's doing that is donating a lot of money to do that. To close down the street. That's the only reason.
That's crazy that they do that. And like, you know, I don't even think they would tell us.
No.
Because they were doing it like while I was there too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like the last Friday of every month is like a car show on that street.
Whatever. Maybe they think it brings foot traffic, but really it's like car enthusiasts aren't really the most adventurous eaters.
Yeah, they're not trying to eat, dude. They're trying to sit on the street and drink some beer or some shit.
Exactly. So at Maligne, how long were you there?
I was there for like probably like a year and a half.
Okay, got you. Did Klaus sort of know that you weren't going to stay there forever?
I mean, I think he knew. I think I was pretty open about like, you know, at some point I'm going to want to like go and travel.
Yeah.
But like, I told him to, like, I was like, but I can definitely like commit, you know, I can at least commit like a year, you know, and then let's see like where things go. But, you know, I'm here for a year. I'll help open up the restaurant with you. Like, what do you need, you know? We need to get like some permit shit done. You need me to set up contracts, like whatever it is, like I'm down. And then we'll see. Like we'll see where things go.
Yeah.
And yeah. It was challenging, dude. Just like opening a restaurant, and especially a restaurant like that where it's like open hearth, open fire cooking, like working with the city, like the fire department, and thankfully they had more of that stuff like figured out. But yeah, we had like a little setback for like a month of just trying to like get everything that we needed to like open officially.
Right.
Yeah.
It's always the paperwork. Shit that always backs it up, dude.
Yeah. You don't ever think about it either.
You know, never.
Or they like bring out some like hidden rule.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I know we told you that was okay, but it's going to cost you $15,000 to fix that.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, thanks. Here I go having to crowdfund again for the fourth time. When you left there, did you have a plan on where to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. So it was crazy just like in leaving.
Yeah.
I talked to him, put in my notice, and then literally the last week we got a bib gourmand from the Michelin Guide.
Yeah.
Yeah. And at this time I was the CDC, so I was like, you know, Alex and Greg had moved on from the restaurant at this point. So I was kind of like running the whole ship with like this new team, and, you know, it was just wild, dude. My last week we get this, and I remember the reservations went from like, we had like 30 on for the day, and then in like, I don't know, an hour we had like 110.
Damn.
We just straight like crushed through like the most we've ever done.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So power of Michelin.
Yeah. It was cool to leave like that. I felt like I was like leaving on a high note.
Yeah, definitely.
And like leaving the restaurant in a better place than
you went.
It was like
there, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's important.
It is. And I think like we actually like definitely like helped create Maligne, like what Klaus was envisioning, and like yeah, he's still holding it down, dude.
Yeah, definitely.
I gotta go over there and go eat. Did you eat while you were over there?
No. I had to go.
Yeah.
But he said he'd hook it up with he's got like an Airbnb situation going on down there. So I was like, you know, maybe I'll take advantage of that and stay and find out what Carmel has. I want to go to Aubergine. I want to go there. Maybe it'll be 2-day thing, maybe
Yeah.
long weekend sort of thing.
Come to Chez Noir,
corporate,
too,
you
dude.
know. Yeah, let's go. All three.
Let's go.
And so you knew you were going to Chez Noir before you left.
No.
You didn't.
No, but I kind of had it in mind.
Okay.
Yeah, because I had quite a few friends who were, so essentially like when they were doing post ranch, when we were all doing post ranch, right?
Yeah.
We're trying to get a star or whatnot. And Jonny and Colin, they're just trying to recruit, bro. They're just trying to be like, who are my players? Like, bring on all these fucking ballers.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it was, dude. We had like all these people Michelin Star experience, like coming down here in the fucking cuts of Big Sur.
Yeah.
And man, we really had like a really good team. It was almost like dream team.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So it was kind of funny because when they started Chez Noir, a good bit of them, like 80% of the kitchen team had worked at Post Ranch with Jonny.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So this is like, dude, like 2, almost 3 years later, they're coming back. And like, it's almost like we're like finishing a chapter that we never got to finish.
Right.
Yeah. But when I was leaving Maligne, I think at that point some of those opening players left Chez Noir.
Got it.
So I was hearing like there's some spots opening up at Chez Noir, and when I first moved back before Maligne, I had saw Jonny, but I remember telling him like, hey, like congratulations on like starting to open your restaurant. It wasn't open yet, but I was just like, but you know, I don't want to work for you right now. Mm-hmm. I wasn't ready for it.
Right.
Like, we were like still trying to find a house to live out here and just go through all this stuff. So
how do you take that?
I don't know. I think he took it just normal, but
well, you work there now, so what the fuck?
Yeah, I work there now.
It's
Yeah,
not like he fucking wrote you off.
No, I think he understood too, because we were like, at the time we were like renting like almost like a short-term rental. Out here, and it wasn't very kosher.
I got that.
We had some of our shit in storage, and
yeah, when your shit isn't figured out outside of work, you don't really want to take on a crazy task like that.
No, yeah. So I left Maligne, like I'm hearing like, oh, like some spots are opening up at Chez Noir, where it was like the middle of summer almost, and like I know that's the time we can get a job at any restaurant.
Yeah, legit.
Yeah. So before then though, I was like, I want to go to Japan. Mm-hmm. So I got to go to Japan. So I had just like all of this like shit from Single Thread that I learned about, and, like ingredients and different places and stories and just about the food culture, all that shit. I had to go experience it for myself. Yeah, I had to make the journey. So I had like planned it out, and like, you know, I don't have kids or anything right now. I was just like, this is the time, dude. Mm-hmm. So went to Japan for like 6 weeks. I got a stage in Kyoto for like 2 weeks at this restaurant called Kaji. Mm-hmm. And this guy, the chef, his name is Jonny. Mm-hmm. He used to be the CDC at Komi.
Okay.
Like when they first got 2 stars. Yeah. So he was really cool. Like, it had a hearth too. It was like open fire cooking. Yeah. Only 8 to 10 seats. You know, all like everything open kitchen, like right in front of you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was just cool. It was cool to like go to Japan and to kind of just like slide into like the working class. Like, working, like I'll wake up and get on the bus in Kyoto and like take it to work. Mm-hmm. And and just like working with like people from Japan. Yeah. And
what was the language barrier?
There is a good language barrier.
How did you guys get past it?
I mean, some of them know English. Right. Yeah, it might not be like the best English, but they might know like the basics.
Right. Well, Google can translate everything.
And Google Translate. And then for me, like there's Google Translate, but with your camera. So like going in and like reading menus, that was a move. You could just be like, cool, like, and that was a trick too. Is like they tell you sometimes like don't get the English menus. You should just get the Japanese menus. You know. So that's what I would do is like go in and fucking try and just eat whatever they bring me.
Try to decipher it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And then I went on some fucking missions out there. I had a couple missions. So I had to go to this, I had to go get some miso. We used to use this crazy miso called Honda miso at Single Thread. And like, I think I would try and make like these recipes from Single Thread. And you need these ingredients like the Honda miso. And then I would try and go buy them. And I can't fucking find them.
Right.
Like, they don't exist, dude. I, like, would, like, search all over San Francisco. And I know if I can't find it there, like, dude, I can't fucking find it. So, that was definitely one of them.
So you went to the source to go get it?
I went to the source.
Yeah. Where was it?
It's in Kyoto.
Okay.
So it's right across from the Imperial Palace. And I think it was, like, I don't know. They've been open for a long time. But they used to make the miso for the emperor.
Right.
Yeah. So,
that's cool.
Yeah, it's like fucking big deal. Like,
miso.
Yeah.
Miso.
Yeah.
Miso.
And they make a varietal called Sucio miso. So it's where they use double the amount of koji in the miso ferment. And by the end of it, it's sweeter. So it's still salty because you're salting the whole ferment to let it do its thing and protect it and whatnot. But as it breaks down and like, you know, all the koji starts to eat like all the rice, it turns it sweeter. So that was the cool thing. It's like when you go and use that shit and you season, like, let's say I make a fucking spinach puree or something, and then I want to season it with this miso and like fold it in. You can actually add a lot. I can add a lot to it because it's not so salty.
Oh, it's like the shared culture stuff.
Yeah. And then you would get this like crazy balance of like salty, sweet, mirin-y flavors and like, dude, it was amazing.
That's insane.
Yeah. So I bought like 100 pounds.
Okay.
Yeah.
You still sitting on some? Or?
Yeah. I'll give you some.
Yeah, we'll get some
Yeah.
later. And how long does this journey take?
The journey to get the miso?
Japan, just Japan in general.
Japan, it was like 6 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
6 weeks.
Yeah.
Go back to the States. You ready to work now? Johnny's like, you fucking ready or what?
Pretty much, dude. Yeah. Johnny.
If you told him no twice, you wouldn't be fucking sitting here today.
Yeah. So I forgot. I went and did a couple stages too.
Yeah.
I staged at Octa
Uh-huh.
before I went to Japan up in Portland.
Uh-huh.
And then I staged at Chez Noir
Okay.
for like a week.
So you already knew what you were walking into.
Yeah. And they definitely like, I think Johnny like really wanted to like test my skills. Cause I just did like, dude, I just remember just doing like fucking fish butchery like the whole time. Just fucking, we get in 100-pound bluefin. And he's like, all right, you want to break down the bluefin today? I'm like, all right, cool, dude. Like, you really want me to do this?
Yeah.
It's like my second day on the stage. Like, sure.
Yeah, but you worked at fucking Single Thread for 2 years.
Yeah.
That's in his mind, that's how he was saying it.
Yeah, no, totally.
He's like...
Which made me feel good, dude. Like,
yeah.
I want to work at a place like where they can like trust me to
right, definitely,
to do all that shit.
And even, I would say, even when you're training your cooks to butcher fish, like, be with them the entire first day, be with them the entire second day, third day, fucking leave.
Yeah.
Make believe you got a phone call, and then check the mise en place, because if you're butchering in front of somebody who's teaching you, and they're like,
yeah,
dude, you're not gonna learn. You gotta make those mistakes. You have to know what it feels like to leave too much flesh on the skin and feel like a fucking douchebag because the fillet's fucked up.
Yeah.
Right? You're not gonna know what that feels like if you have somebody that's like, don't move here. Use this instead. Like, you gotta get your own flow.
No,
through
totally.
your own hands, you know?
You have to fuck it up, dude. It's true. Like, dude, there's some things in the kitchen where like you just have to make the recipe and fuck it up
Right.
before you could truly like master it.
That's a big part of why I don't think culinary schools should exist, because half of those ingredients aren't getting eaten. It's just like theory and lab on animals and like livestock. And you're like, we're just gonna get. It's like R&D kind of.
Yeah.
Like R&D can be very wasteful.
Yeah. No, totally.
You know? If you let it, you can waste pounds and pounds of food, and you won't even kind of see it because you're experimenting, right?
Yeah.
It's a very egocentric way of doing it, but what are you gonna do? You got to get a new dish out some way.
Sure did.
What did you like about Chez Noir versus all the other places you staged at that made you decide to work there? Other than living in this beautiful area.
Yeah, I think like that was like a big draw for me. Was just it was like local.
Yeah.
You know, up and coming.
Yeah. How far is it from here?
Like 15 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty, and it's mainly just straight down the highway.
Okay.
Boom, hit the first light, take a left, and then you're in the town. And
got it.
But I think what really drew me to go work at Chez Noir was like I'm like older now, you know? Like I was 30 at the time, and I'm just trying to think about my career and everything I've done up to this point. And like, you know, before I think I'm almost at the point where I'm like ready to take the final step.
Yeah.
Whether it's like go be an executive chef at like some big fucking establishment or some small establishment or start my own shit. Like, I just wanted to go get crushed one more time.
Right.
I want to go get crushed. I want to fucking get put through the ringer. I want someone to tell me that, yo, your fucking chalet bruant looks like shit. Like, you need to make sure you do this. This is how you order. Here are the farms that are local that we order from. And just like, you know, create all of those connections and tie up any loose ends before I actually like take the final step. So it's almost like they tell you, you know, like as a line cook, you're going to be sharp. You know, you're sharpening your skills every day because you're coming in and practicing. And like, you know, I just felt like I wanted to like be 100% sure that I'm going to fucking leave with the tools that I need, good foundation and all of that. And I know working for Jonny before, like that's how it was. Yeah, it's just like good, solid food, no shortcuts, you know, spare no cost. Like we get nice ingredients in. A lot of them, almost all of them are local. Everything like at Chez Noir, it's like California.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just techniques, even if they're simple, and just like really nailing the technique of what it is and actually like thinking about it as a whole. And then just the food that he makes, dude. It's just like really tasty, like approachable.
Yeah.
But it's elegant. And he's got a lot of experience. And, you know, I just felt like he could be my next like kind of mentor to like show me the ropes. And he just started opening a restaurant and like, hey, maybe one day I want to do that. And maybe he'll have a little guidance for me, especially if that happens like out here. So that's kind of where I was. Yeah. I know too, like at Chez Noir, we changed the menu. Well, honestly, we're just kind of like in a constant like rotation of menu change.
Yeah.
We don't change the whole menu like all at once, but it's like, all right, this dish has been on for like 2 weeks. We need to change it. Like we need to change it. And before you know it, we'll go through a week where it's like, all right, Monday, we're going to work on this thing so we can change it Tuesday. And then by the end of the week, like almost like 3/4 of the menu has changed. And we're on to the next cycle of the menu. But it's about like every like 2 to 3 weeks, we're changing the menu and like whole new process. And it's challenging, man. It's like for the line cooks and our CDPs, right? They go through all these new recipe, new technique, like, oh, you need like these special mixing bowls, or like you need the caviar spoons or whatever it is, right? And then they get to the end of the first week, going into the second week, and they're like starting to fucking figure it all out. They're starting to be ready ahead of time and like, you know, hitting all the like the goals and like ticket times during service are like super sick. And then by the end of the 2 weeks, it's fucking smooth sailing. Right? And we're just like having great days, like, and that at that point is when you know, at least with the structure that we're in, it's time to change it. It's time to change the menu.
Got it.
It might not always be the easiest approach, but at the end of the day, like, you can't say that you're not going to get better.
Right.
Because you really have to come in and like focus. You got to know what your dish is and like your techniques and ingredients. And, you know, Jonny's not the type of chef too to like just let things slide.
Yeah.
So when they're not.
Oh, you can't.
Yeah.
Special guest.
Yeah.
Crazy. And then what is your goal after all of this, like years later, end goal? Having a restaurant here in Carmel?
Dude, I don't know. I don't know if it's a restaurant. I honestly, I've thought about this like so much because it's like, it's really like, I feel like it's my next step. And it's like, do you want to open a restaurant?
Yeah.
And then you look at it, you break it down, and like financially, it doesn't make fucking sense, dude.
No.
It doesn't.
Especially in California.
It's fucking crazy. Like, you really want to, what blows my mind, right? Is like, let's say someone's like, cool, I got like $2-3 million to like open a restaurant, build it, whatever.
Not enough.
Bankroll it for a year or two. Not enough, right? It's never enough. And then like, how much profit are they going to really make?
Right.
Is it 5%? 5 to 10%? Why wouldn't you just take all of that money?
It's not worth it, chef.
And invest it.
Yeah.
In some other way. Put it in the stock market. Right? You still get the same, maybe you get the same return, right? But the difference is, dude, is like, I don't have to work. I don't have to do any of the work. So like financially, it fucking doesn't make sense.
I think right now the way to play it, and I think Rogelio's doing this right now. He doesn't own Four Seasons, you know. He's the chef de cuisine, the executive chef, you know, but he doesn't own it. And I think that's the best place to be as it stands right now. Could it change in 10 years to be better to open a restaurant? Maybe.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, in his thing, it's like, yeah, he's got his own cookbook that he did, I think, aside from Four Seasons. But then he has the marketing machine that is Four Seasons. So you can, instead of spending time doing invoicing and figuring out how you're going to pay your payroll and fucking, you know, pay your light bill, and follow whatever laws are happening for small businesses in California, you can spend your time honing your food, making your staff better, and having more time and bandwidth for projects like that, like fun projects that actually do more for your career than, hey, I have a good food cost.
Yeah.
You know, like that's not what wins awards. That's not what gets more people in the door.
Yeah.
None of that matters. Nobody cares, right? But you need that in order to survive. So I think being right now CDC is a better position than executive chef a lot of times.
Yeah.
Because you're not like fully responsible for the restaurant. Shit happens, like shit that's not even like, you know, natural disasters, fucking fires, earthquakes. Like, what the fuck are you gonna do? You know, a lot of these places, that's what happened. Things like COVID. COVID happens again, we're fucked.
Oh, dude, we're so fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we got no infrastructure.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we didn't learn money. And the chefs that did never taught anybody else.
Right.
So it's like, that's where we gotta go.
That's where we gotta go, dude.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy is like, all right, for one, COVID definitely like changed up the restaurant game, right? But like here in Monterey, I feel like it shook up a lot. So you have all these restaurants that were like not doing good in the first place, and then fucking COVID happens, and they just like they have to shut down. Boom, right? So you have some of these restaurants that are shutting down, and then you have, I think out the other side of it out here is like you have these like families that have been here for a long time, or like these landlords, and they just hold these leases, especially in Monterey or in Carmel. They like hold these leases, and then they just end up like renting the space out to you, and then you open up your concept or whatever it is until you close it. But like they're holding on to like some of the key places out here. But other than that, and like the few restaurants, there's so much room to grow. It's like I feel like the food out here is like pretty mediocre.
Right.
And
there's a lot of towns like that. Like even Napa, for example, like it's good. There's like, 10 awesome fucking restaurants, right? But then the other fucking 55 are garbage. And you're like, what the fuck are we doing?
And they're all serving the same.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And Napa's the same shit,
and
dude.
It is all the same everywhere you go, really. San Francisco, Napa, you got Vesta, you got Greenleaf, you got Cook's Company. You got fucking River Dog Farms, Full Belly Farms. We're all using the same farms.
Yeah.
Like that's what makes places different. That's what made Meadowood so special. That's what makes French Laundry so special. They have their own garden.
Right.
They can manipulate their own produce and their own pantry. If you have that, you're unstoppable.
You're unstoppable, dude.
And that's why Harbor House Inn is successful, and Izakaya Gama and fucking Chez Noir and all these places out here, because you guys have no fucking choice.
We have no choice.
You guys have to.
We have to. Yeah, Singleton was like that too.
Yeah.
Like they would literally like plan out like next year's whatever. Yeah. They grow like special varietals, and then not only would we use like the fucking tomato, but like they would go and cut the tomato vine, and we would fucking make a plate out of it, or whatever it is. Like, oh, cherries are in season. Boom, here's a fucking huge cherry blossom. I remember this.
Yeah.
Cherry blossom fucking branch in the middle of the dining room as the centerpiece. So it's so cool. It's like, dude, you're eating all your dishes with like the cherry things in them, and you like look up and like, boom, there's the cherry tree.
Right.
Right there.
You have to be in the time and the place to make that happen.
Yeah.
And I sometimes as a chef, like I rushed into opening something just because of, I get to be chef owner. And it's like, is that really what you need to be doing it for? Essentially, I need to be doing it for the food.
Yeah.
And the people who are going to come eat it. Not what I think that will get me in society in terms of what people think and like awards and accolades.
Yeah. I think the older I get, like the more I think about that, and like, I had this thought like a couple of years ago. It's like, especially when we were opening Maligne, I really like connected with a restaurant should be part of the community. Like you should be trying to support the community, as well as the community should try to support you, so you guys can have this like relationship with each other, but first and foremost, man, you got to be part of the community. And how do you do that? Well, you can do it a lot of different ways, I guess, but like I think in the future I want to open up something to be part of this community that I've grown to love out here, and like support that, and like be the next generation to like carry on that legacy of whatever it is, and shape it into like what we want to see out here. Right. Which is like, dude, like we want to see good food. That it's Sunday, the restaurant's closed, I want to go eat. Where am I going to go eat?
Yeah.
Because right now it's like pretty slim pickings. It's not like living in San Francisco and whatnot, you know. So it's like,
when all else fails, go to Chinatown.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to create something like that, but maybe not have so much of like the financial pressure of a restaurant.
Yeah.
So maybe it'd be like a combination business where it's like we would have some product, whether it's like some koji ferments I'm doing or picking mushrooms. Like, oh, I have a storefront where you come buy like some foraged mushrooms, or it's an event space, or we can do like private chefing, or, you know, maybe we open 1 or 2 nights out of the week for like a ticketed event, or we're just open Friday and Saturdays. Mm-hmm. Something like that, to where like you can fill in the space financially to keep the business running with like other things, like almost like freelancing as a chef. And then on your like 2 or 3 days out of the week, you run it like a normal restaurant, but you don't have all the overhead of like keeping all your employees on or having to pay payroll, or you don't have like so much ingredients in house, or you can really capture like the peak of the ingredient, where it's like, dude, we just found this fucking fat porcini this morning. We're gonna put it on the menu and run it for 2 days, and that's it until next week. Yeah. And then we just do it again. And I think that would be so cool.
I think that's awesome, man. I think restaurants don't operate like that for fear of failure. Yeah. But I think if you set yourself up when you're operating out of fear, it's not going to do you any good. You're going to end up right where you started.
No. I also think, too, is like if you do that, like, and it doesn't cost as much, you don't have so much debt that you hold on to. Yeah. But, you know, it also opens the door, too, for like, you want to be a part of the community, you can bring in special guests. Yeah. So it's like, maybe you just have the building, and on like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you're kind of just like open to the public, doing your own thing. But maybe you have guest chef come in and they talk about growing koji. And it's actually like coming in and educating the community. Or there's like a cheese guy, or, you know, you just have a meeting with all the farmers, or it's just like I just want to have more time to like really like dive in and connect, and then be able to take all of that and like grow with that, versus like spending all my time dedicated to working service for 5 or 6 days a week. It's like it's part of being a chef, but like, you know, it's like you can be a chef in other ways. And when you go to Japan too, you see all these different fucking restaurants that are like completely different. You see these fucking 5-seater restaurants that, you know, survive all the time. I know things are different, but like, dude, it's crazy to see all the things and like how minimal they can actually create a restaurant.
Yeah, less is more. I mean, out here we're always like, we need to do 400 covers.
Yeah. You're like, do you really?
Yeah, it's like, we're going to charge everyone $1 a person and do 10,000 people a day. It's like, dude, just fucking up the price. And because we're losing that sense of when you could be wait staff for your entire life. You could be a server, and that could be your career. Yeah. And if it wasn't for Michelin restaurants, we'd lose it completely. But it used to be that steakhouses you could have a career in, and upper class, like, what is it, kind of more casual restaurants, but a little bit higher, you know, echelon, like an Angler. Yeah, right? That kind of place. Like, you're dropping a fat penny, but it's worth it, and it's considered casual, you know? So it's cool to see, though. It's cool to comment on, and it's cool to be a part of this world, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Thanks for listening to the show, by the way.
Yeah, totally, Austen. Dude. I'm fucking stoked.
Now you're on it.
Yeah, I'm on it now, dude.
Crazy.
It's so crazy because, you know, at one point I was like, man, I just want to like listen to some food podcasts and shit. And I went on Spotify, and that's what I typed in, and I saw Sucio Talks. I recognized you because just living in Napa. And, yeah. You know, I knew you were at Charter Oak with your fucking knives. I was like, dude, this guy looks fucking wild. Let's listen to this. And yeah, some of your first shows too were like on like Chris Costal. Yeah. Yeah, Matt from Harbor House on there. So I was just like, cool. I fucking started with Chris Costal.
Oh wow, yeah, episode 8.
Yeah, which was wild. Like I didn't know all that shit, and I think it's just like so intriguing to hear everyone's story. we're all kind of chasing for something similar as chefs, but like how everyone gets there.
Yeah, it's different, and then
it's different,
and then there's always someone that somebody knows in every story.
Yeah,
it's like the 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's about to be the 7 degrees of fucking David Sucio out here.
There you go, dude.
You know, because as it stands, right? You say Chef Costa was on Sucio Talk podcast. So are you now?
Yeah.
Equal.
There we go.
Boom.
You hear that, Chris?
Boom. Human beings first, baby. Chef second.
I just saw him actually.
Yeah.
What's he doing? He's doing good.
You did an event with him, right?
Yeah, we did an event. One of the potlucks.
Yeah.
At Charter Oak.
Okay, dope. Yeah, it's a dope kitchen, man. It's big.
It was cool. Yeah.
I wish that it had an opening in the middle. In the middle of
there's just a bunch of fryers.
Yeah, because you can't like, it's hard to communicate.
Yeah.
That's why you need the little like headphones.
Yeah, that tripped me up too.
Yeah.
They all have the headphones.
That's just difficult.
Dude, crazy.
Yeah.
You're in the middle of service and they're fucking yapping in the headphone and you're trying to have conversations over
tell
here.
me about it, dude. I've had to expedite those 400 cover services.
That's fucking wild.
Talking to the servers and like on the headphones with the cooks. Dude.
Yeah.
It's wild.
That's like a totally different operation.
Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely was a different way of training, but I'm glad that I did it. Because when you do only Michelin, it doesn't give you perspective on the simpler things.
Yeah, no, totally.
That you need to have. You know, not everything is, this is the most important thing anybody has ever done up until this time, you know?
Yeah.
And like, that's how everything was at Meadowood. Like, every plate is the most important thing you'll ever do in your life.
And if not, then
it's
get
not.
The fuck out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it was just like, oh, there's regular people too, you know? But I will say that within that world, you do have bitch asses who complain, this is too hard. I can't do this, blah, 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 blah. What are you going to do for me? When are you going to teach me something? And you're like,
whoa.
You know what I'm saying? Like, expectations out the ass. And it's like, I don't fucking know you shit.
Yeah.
You know, you've been working here for 3 weeks.
Right.
3 weeks.
You're complaining already?
You know, and I'm like, anybody that comes in expecting something other than a paycheck from a job in the first fucking 3 weeks, you know, you're out of your fucking tree, bro.
You're crazy.
Yeah.
You're crazy.
So
it's like that though.
Yeah.
You know?
It be like that, chef.
It's hard to keep these people motivated and yeah.
Yeah. Well, we got to find a way, and we will. I feel like it's coming soon, or the next generation is just going to be better.
You think so?
I think so.
You think they're going to be better?
I think I have. There's like promising 18-year-olds and like 19-year-olds right now.
Coming up?
I've done a couple events in Napa actually. And I've used a couple of them from CIA, and there's a couple of kids that I've used that are like super young, but like want to learn and are willing to move away to go work at places.
Yeah.
Like that I think got lost.
I did, dude.
From like the kids that are like 26 and up, 26 to 30 basically, and then the people who are maybe 19 to 22, those are like the people who are like, I want to fucking work for free. I want to stage. I want to fucking, you know, and
that's how I was, honestly, dude. Coming up, I was just like, you know, taking the journey from Atlanta to California is very just like, fuck it. Mm-hmm. We're doing this shit. I'm going to put myself in the mix. Like, and I just remember telling people like, dude, I'll come work for free. How many stages I've done like for free. Just being hungry, dude. Like, you know, and it's for nothing but like the pursuit of my own well-being. And like perfecting my skills. And you know, I feel like half the time you just like get perspective on stages. You don't necessarily learn a bunch of shit, but maybe it'll be like, dude, you tasted this one sauce, or like you learn how to cut this thing like a different way, or it's just, I think it's important though. I also think it's important too to like, yeah, work at a Michelin place, but also work at a shitty place.
Yeah, definitely.
You have a good mix.
Yeah, for sure.
In your lineup, so you can like figure out, what's good for you, and like, not everyone's cut out to be a Michelin star chef.
No, not at all.
No.
You got to pick your chef immune system.
For sure.
Work on it.
Yeah.
And find out what deters you. Find out what makes you better.
It's fucking way harder than people think.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And there'll be a lot of years where you don't make it. And even after you've made it, there'll still be years of uncertainty.
Yeah.
Because they're going to take your stars away or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
But, yeah, man.
It's crazy, though. Yeah, we retained our star this year.
Shout out to you guys, man. That's big.
Yeah.
That's big.
It was dope, dude. Like, just like with how much that's going on at the restaurant and, just the changing of the teams.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we're in a really good spot now. And if you haven't eaten at Chez Noir, you should come too.
Hell yeah. Where can we find it, Chef?
Yeah, you can find it in Carmel. Look it up on Google Maps.
There you go.
Addresses are weird there,
Mm-hmm. Chez Noir, Cheznnoir.
Noir.
Chef Jonny Black.
And Monique Black. They're the owners and proud chefs. We got Chef Tyler Eves, who's the CDC.
Dope.
Me and Chance, and the rest of the crew. Invite you guys to come in.
Hell yeah, man. I'll be through, and maybe I'll get to interview your bosses and your co-workers at some point.
Yeah.
But shout out to Carmel. Shout out to everyone down here busting their ass, working as a young cook or old cook. Whatever you're doing, just do it with love, and don't forget, Sucio's here for you.
Yeah.
Let's go. Oh! I talked to Spencer Horowitz the other day.
Oh, you did?
2 hours and 46 minutes. You almost beat him shy by 9 minutes, Chef.
Let's go. Damn, that was a long
I know,
podcast,
Chef. It's all good.